Good morning to you. I'm Marquin, author, educator out of Ann Arbor Public Schools. I had some issues with some students who did not want to read very often in class, and so I came up with the idea of actually writing a book. Now that's my classroom out there in Ypsilanti, Michigan. The girls, they tended to want to read. The fellas, not so much. It wasn't that they didn't want or know how to read. It was more that they were really reluctant. They would nudge each other and try to get into the principal's office, or they would hide in the bathroom. 20 minutes in there, you can avoid a lot of silent reading. It's a real problem for me. That's how I looked in the classroom. I was a little perturbed about the fact that they wouldn't do anything. So I decided late one night when I should have been asleep that I was going to write a book. And that's what I did. I went to the classroom the next day like a boss, and I told them, you're going to read, and I'm going to write the book, and probably 2 or 3 times a week I'm going to share out with you, and they wanted to give me constructive criticism and all that happy stuff. Felt good. Now, what I ended up writing about was a gentleman by the name of Wrinkles Wallace. Wrinkles Wallace is a 28-year-old guy who found out he failed 5th grade and had to go back and do it again because he did not turn in enough homework. So imagine yourself getting called back to school because you weren't taking care of business. Now in that class is Lenny. Lenny is 70+ years old. He's also a student. Lenny is a verbal bully. You may know some of them. He's always talking trash. I saw these issues going on in my classroom from the years prior to me teaching this class, and I wanted to try to address some of those things. That is Spork. Spork failed culinary arts. Spork's idea of a great meal is a sharp-knuckled omelet. She does not follow directions very well and likes to kind of go off on her own and do her own thing, and then craziness ensues. That is Your Highness. She is 17 years old. She is a diva. She's into her mirror. I had students who were looking at the television screen doing this. And just one second. And so I needed to address those issues. That is Snooze. Snooze is a student who would be asleep the entire time, occasionally give you some random answer that actually worked. Most of the time was just drooling all over the desk. And so I had to put him in there. That is Mr. Quiet, actually known as Sit and Be Quiet. He is their 10-year-old teacher, and he is there to lay down the law. I made him 10 and them adults to switch it for students so they didn't know who to root for. Because now they're rooting for no, they're not. They're rooting for the adults. Oh. Now, because of that, students read a lot more. We didn't have the bathroom bill, so it was a good situation. My fellows were actually making progress, and I was really proud of them. The principal gave me a little gold star. I entered in the Michigan Elementary Middle School Principals Association book contest. I didn't win. I finished the top 4 of the state. I was real proud. My mom was happy. We did little dances and stuff like that. It was cool, but I did get published. I was a little sad. I actually turned my book into a few different places, and Meridia Publishers was kind enough to say I was cool. And I like that. So I turned it into them, turned in some other books. They really liked it. We worked together. They bought me the biggest steak on the menu. I was happy. From there, I met a lot of cousins. I went to the Eastern Michigan Writing Project. If you're part of the Writing Project, woo! And I developed myself and was developed, and I actually accepted myself as a writer there. That was awesome. From there, the book was published. That's the cover of it. It's come a long way from the blue Smurf-looking things that were up there before, but I like it. And they're all covering their faces because I don't want to include their culture. I want to include what they're doing in their issues. Amazon, like when you're an author for the first time and it's real and you get like a review from a kid, it makes you feel really good about yourself. And then you can share those with the other students like, hey, you should be able to write as well. It was important just because I felt good. Now, writing this book actually put me on news in Saginaw, Michigan, and in the newspaper, and on a bunch of different things. So little me just writing for my kids actually ended up on the news. I tried to lose 10 pounds, but television makes you do. Not the same sweater, not the same sweater. Some fan mail. I did some author talks, and then they actually sent stuff stuff to my house, which is really cool, being able to motivate them to actually do some other stuff. That's book 2. It just came out not too long ago. They inspired me to continue to write. They actually get together and work to try to save Mr. Quiet's house, fighting foreclosure. That's an epidemic sweeping our nation. So the oddball team gets together and does a lot. My creed that I live by is with sacrifice, tenacious effort, action, and determination, it will be yours. That's what I talk to my students about. That's how I live, and that's what I suggest for you too. Thank you for having me.